Hi there, Blazer owners. Today in your 2019 Chevrolet Blazer, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install Curt's 7-pole vehicle wiring harness. And this is what our wiring harness looks like when it's installed. That's right, it looks just like a factory vehicle, but if we remove our cover here, this will reveal our hitch as well as our wiring behind it. There's just 2 pins we just unthread. And here you can see hidden behind our panel we have our receiver as well as our 7-pole connector. Included with your kit, you will receive your 7-pole connector, as well as a custom-fit harness that plugs directly into the factory wiring located behind the bumper. What you don't get is the brackets to get it mounted up, because that's going to vary from the type of hitch that you have. We're using a short bracket, as well as a 7-pole bracket from Pollock. You can get both of those here at eTrailer.com if you like how we've got it mounted up here. Your wiring harness is going to provide you with a standard 7-pole connector, which is going to provide you with all the necessary lighting, which includes your left turn signal, right turn signal, tail lamps, and brake lamps. It'll also provide you with a backup lamp circuit, as well as a charge line circuit or auxiliary circuit. And it also has the circuits wired up for a brake controller. However, we don't have a brake controller installed here. With the wiring harness being custom fit, the installation couldn't be any easier. Why don't you follow along with me, and it'll be over before you even know it. We'll begin our installation underneath the vehicle by finding our factory connectors. You can see a little bit easier and get some more light in there if you remove your cover here. There's 2 twist pins here at the bottom. We're going to turn them counterclockwise, and we can just pull our panel off. Your hitch is going to be mounted behind this cover, as well as a location to mount your wiring. We're using both a short bracket, which is a no-drill bracket that clamps around our hitch, and a 7-pole bracket which attaches to the no-drill bracket. Now, we did modify these by bending them in a way to where we can easily access our connector. So you just need to hold it up there, and you can see I kind of put about a 45 on this piece right here to see where it's going to work out best. So go ahead and get those clamped on, because it'll be a little bit easier if you've got those in position. We're now just on the other side of our opening that we pulled off the cover there, and towards the driver's side, you'll have 2 connectors here that we want to pull down. Each of these connectors we're going to be plugging our new wiring into, so we can just pop those out. This connector here, the larger one, is likely not going to be in this upper location next to this one when you get here, unless you have not had a hitch installed. If you're putting your own hitch on, you're probably going to find it clipped in a little bit lower down here, but it has to get relocated when putting this particular hitch on. So we'll just pull this guy off of there. Be a little stubborn sometimes, so you can just give it a little push on the back side. And once we got it popped down, that'll make it easier to remove our dummy plug. So we'll press in on the release tab here and just slide the dummy plug off. We're then just going to do the exact same thing on the 4-pole connector here. On our 4-pole, there is a red locking tab that you will need to push up away from the dummy plug in order to reveal the release tab. We can then just pull our dummy plug out of there. We can now take our new harness, and it's going to plug directly into the 2 connectors that we removed the dummy plugs from. We'll start with the smaller 4-pin connector. Make sure it clicks in, and then push the locking tab back down. We can then put this guy back into the little slot that we had removed it from. Then we can take the other connector now, and we're just going to line these 2 up, plug them together till they snap in, and then we're just going to re-secure this one. We can now take the 7-pole connector that comes in our kit and mount it up into our bracket. The hardware for mounting your 7-way connector is going to be included with the bracket that you purchased. It does not come in your kit. So you're just going to slide that hardware through and then secure it with a nut on the opposite side. And then here on the back side of our 7-pole now, we can take the other end of the harness that we had plugged into those factory connectors. We're going to run it around and line it up and click it into place with our factory 7-way. One of the things you'll want to do when doing this is put some dielectric grease on the inside of your connector. We're not going to be doing it today though for demonstration purposes. If you need dielectric grease, you can pick up some here at eTrailer.com. At this point, your wiring's fully installed. We can plug in a tester and test it out. Then you can zip tie up any loose wiring that you've got up there to make sure it stays nice and clean. We've now got our tester plugged in and we're going to make sure everything's working properly. I recommend you use a tester over your trailer to ensure that your vehicle's working properly in the event that there's something wrong with your trailer. You'll notice right away that we've got a light on here, and that's our 12-volt charge circuit, and that's working properly. But you also want to make sure that you have your left turn signal, right turn signal, tail lamps, brake lamps, and reverse lamps. The last circuit on our 7-pole is for a brake controller, which we don't have installed today. And now with everything working properly, you can either load up your trailer and hit the road, or if you're not going to use it right now, we can put our cover back in place as our connector will stay completely hidden behind it until we're ready to use it. And that completes our installation of Curt's 7-pole vehicle wiring harness on our 2019 Chevrolet Blazer.